All right, so the student section's a little bit ready for this game. What do you think, Andrew?
Wow, they brought their A game.
Yeah, the student section is ready to rock and roll.
They were all standing and cheering in unison. It looks like all of them are wearing black. This is a little mini section of Cameron Crazies here tonight.
So they are about ready to go, as are we. We mentioned that we have the starting lineups as well. Dover with Katie, Coleman, Vitko, Carloni, and Cantwell is the big man. Although
he doesn't jump though.
Vitko is the one jumping center. He's listed as a guard on the roster. He wins the tip, Dover ball, and we are underway. Katie on the near side driving to the hoop. The ball knocked away from him, and he tried to keep it alive. O'Connell picks it up now to Crowley. Bedford underway, moving left to right across the radio dial. Mokas down into Anderson, kicks it over to the corner to Crowley for three. A little bit long off the back iron. Crowley gets the board. Chartier now over to O'Connell, who drives into the key. A little floater for two is good. And Liam O'Connell and the Bulldogs are on the board 2-0.
He threw in a fist pump there too, getting that first bucket right in front of his home crowd.
These guys look like they're a little charged up. Now Vitko with a three-pointer that rims in and out. Winds up after a tussle being Dover Green Wave ball. Bulldogs on top 2-0, just getting underway here in the Bedford High Gym. If you're in the neighborhood, you may as well come on by, or you can just stick around, listen to the game on radio, watch it on Bedford Channel 23. Now Katie gets a nice rattle and roll on his two-point bucket. We're even up 2 apiece. 7:10 remaining here in the first quarter of play.
Dover playing man-to-man, half-court defense.
Left-handed Nick Mokas shoots from the top of the key, misses. Anderson with a nice board using that size, creates space with his shoulders, can't finish. Now Dover gets the rebound. Right back the other way is John Cantwell, their forward, drives the lane with a left hand, attempts a layup, and is fouled there by Nolan Anderson. He'll go to the line and shoot two.
Yeah, Anderson got a little aggressive on that one after missing on the other end. He's got to be careful. They need him on the floor.
Absolutely. Justin O'Neill would be the other one that you would see at center for the Bulldogs, as Cantwell knocks in a free throw. His first point of the game. Dover on top 3-2 in the early going. And now the second one out of the hand of Cantwell, also good. And the Bulldogs currently chasing two, trail the Dover Green Wave 4-2. Connor Crowley inbound, or receives the inbound, and the Bulldogs break the full court press. Nick Mokas had to hurry that pass right there to Chartier, stolen by Dover. Three from the corner from Katie, misses short. The rebound kept alive there by Dover. Now to Coleman, back over to Coleman again after another transition. Now Cantwell in the corner. Katie with a ball fake, thinks about a three-pointer on the near side from the wing. Now drives and kicks over to Cantwell. Cantwell keeping the ball outside. The Dover game appears to be keeping it outside wherever possible and shooting from long range.
Bedford also playing half-court man-to-man.
Ryan Coleman with an entry pass there to John Cantwell, dribbling with his left hand into the key. Little floater, misses short. Nick Mokas with the rebound. Bedford back the other way, leading, or check that, trailing 4-2. 5:50 left here in the first. Mokas pass over to the far corner to Liam O'Connell, who got a little bit too fancy for his own good, dribbled off his shoe tops. It'll be Dover ball.
Yeah, unfortunate bounce there. It bounced off of Carloni's leg, then it went off O'Connell's leg and out of bounds.
So now Dover with the ball in the front court. Ryan Coleman gets it to Cantwell, who suddenly finds an awful lot of space down low, challenges Anderson, kicks it back to the far corner to Coleman, misses short. Max Chartier with the rebound, and they say Chartier was shoved in the back by Ty Vitko. That is Vitko's first foul, and first foul of the game for the Dover Green Wave. Bedford will inbound from underneath their own basket.
You mentioned Dover's focus so far on the perimeter offensively. They only made 2 3-pointers in the playoff opener against Londonderry. So we'll see how many attempts they take today and how much of a focus it is in this matchup.
Now Bedford looks like their focus is going to be Nolan Anderson, scoring a little fadeaway jumper off the assist from Nick Mokas. But that is what Bedford is going to try to do, and you can see that from Mokus right off the bat. Now Coleman for Dover drives into the lane, pulls it back out, kicks it to the corner to Katie. Bedford and Dover tied it 4 apiece. Now Katie, a fade away from the baseline, misses. Connor Crowley with the rebound, driving quickly into the front court, and now Crowley pulls it back out and gets it to Anderson down in the corner. He drives baseline, challenged there by Cantwell. Now Chartier, 15-footer from the opposite baseline. His bucket is good, and the Bulldogs lead 6-4, 4:39 left in the first quarter.
Max's sweet spot there, that mid-range jumper.
Now Mokus doing a good job on D, getting right in the face of Devin Cady, who scored 26 in the first round game for Dover against Londonderry. Shot there missed by Dover, picked up by Nolan Anderson, and Crowley will get his offense set in the front court. Bedford in their white uniforms, red numbers, black trim, and Dover green jerseys, white numbers, black trim as well. The shot there by Max Chartier, challenged by Cantwell. An air ball, and right back the other way is Dover.
A lot of contact there, but the ref said Cantwell was vertical. So even though there was contact in the air, no foul called.
Different refs than we saw the other night. From the corner is Ty Vitko for 3. And Dover answers right back. 3:47 left here in the first. They lead Bedford 7-6. Crowley assuming the point guard role for Bedford. Gets it over to Chartier on the far side. Max Chartier back over to Liam O'Connell, thinks about getting it down low to Anderson, who has a height advantage on Cantwell. He's 6'5", Cantwell 6'3". Now Anderson, a nice post move off the glass, and Bedford now leads 8-7, 3:24 left in the first.
Great spin there and hesitation to wait for his opening.
Cantwell with the ball up top. That is not his shot, so consequently he's getting a nice big cushion from Nolan Anderson. Hands it over to Carloni. Carloni dribbles with the left. Now to Vitko, who nice little ball fake off the glass. He misses with the shot. Kept alive off the follow. Now Katie on the far side misses short. And Mokus picks up the rebound. Bedford back the other way. Gets it over to Liam O'Connell in the corner, who drives the lane, misses off the glass, but is fouled along the way. He'll go to the line and shoot a pair. Now, an interesting note, Mokus, when this Bedford offense is really firing on all cylinders, will pull up and shoot that 3 when he's got a little bit of space. However, he's a little bit more hesitant to do so, and you wonder if the reason for that is because their focus is going down low to Anderson.
Right, and he's just an unselfish player, so on that particular possession, he saw O'Connell and he gave O'Connell the opportunity.
So O'Connell makes both free throws. Bedford leads 10-7, 2:50 left here in the first quarter. Cantwell to bring the ball up, wearing high tops and black socks and a crew cut. Looks like he's out of the movie Hoosiers. And now Vitko shoots from about 22. His three-pointer is long. Cantwell gets the rebound. Quickly to Coleman. Coleman with a 3. And a tie ball game, 10-10, 2:28 left here in the first. Now it'll be Max Chartier over to the far side to Mokus. Bedford is not substituted yet. Actually, neither team has. 5:40 into the game. Connor Crowley with a little floater from the baseline. He misses. Cantwell with the rebound, says to everybody, I got this, I'll bring the ball up. In a 10-10 tie, 2 minutes left in the first. Now Cantwell shoots a 3. Mokus challenged there for the rebound by Federico. And Bedford somehow manages to keep hold of the ball. Now Mokus up top, a ball fake over to the corner to Anderson. Shoots from about 15, he misses. And the rebound corral there by Girardi. And gets it to Cantwell, who brings it up top for the Green Wave of Dover. 10-10 tie, 1:43 left here in the first. Federico dribbling to the right, through the legs, now drives the lane. Might have Euro-stepped a little bit. Girardi with a 3 from the corner. And now Dover leads Bedford 13-10. Just shy of a minute and a half left here in the first. Mokus dribbling to the left over to the corner where he finds Max Chartier. And the ball off of Chartier's fingers and out of bounds. It'll be Dover ball with the Green Wave leading the Bulldogs 13-10.
Yeah,
minute 21 left in the first.
Girardi and Federico snuck in there when O'Connell was at the line. And Girardi is one of the guys who scored double figures in the opener. He had 10, making his presence felt immediately with that rainbow 3.
Nice smooth shot from Girardi. Now Vitko shoots a three-pointer. That one a little bit long. Mokus tries to get the rebound, knocks it to Connor Crowley, who brings the ball up for the Bulldogs, trailing 13-10, a minute left in the first. Mokus drives the lane and quickly is fouled by John Cantwell, and Mokus will go to the line. Actually, check that, fouled by Vitko, who now has 2. And Mokus will go to the line and shoot a pair with the Bulldogs trailing 13-10. 58 and a half left here in the first quarter.
Nice aggressive move there by Mokus, who I don't think he'd attempted a shot yet, but he created the contact there. See if he can salvage this trip to the line by making the second.
Mokus missed the first. Now, as you mentioned, give it a shot to making the second. And the second one is nothing but net. Bulldogs trail at 13-11. Just under a minute left here in the first. It'll be Girardi with the ball about 25 feet from the basket on the far side. Now Coleman dumps it in there to Cantwell, guarded closely by Harry Lagulon. Gets it back over to the other side to Girardi, who bangs in another 3. He's got 6. Dover's on top 16-11, and Coach Elmendorf prowling the sidelines like a lion, talking to his bench players right now. Chartier with the ball in three-point line, gets it down low to Lagulon, who made a nice fake with the body to get himself a little bit of space. Couldn't finish the shot after he retrieved his own rebound. He was fouled, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2, and the Dover faithful did not agree with that call.
Well, there was plenty of contact on that second shot there by Lagulon.
So Harry to the stripe, he'll shoot 2. And the first one is good. And the 6'1" junior forward. Bulldogs trail 16-12, 20.2 left here in the first. And the second one from Lagulon misses long. And the rebound there to Dover. Coleman quickly gets the ball into the front court, now to the corner to Girardi, who drives the lane. And they say that Justin O'Neill had a little bit too much body on that one, so both teams in a little bit of foul trouble here early on, though. 5 fouls each team. We're going to see a lot of free throws in the second quarter. 13.2 left here in the first. Bedford trails 16-12. The inbounds pass knocked away there by Max Chartier, and after it was knocked away, Connor Crowley went after it and got popped in the schnoz. And it'll be Bedford ball on the near sideline.
Yeah, he sure did, but I think he'll trade that for the possession, especially since he looks okay now.
So check that. The Bulldogs with the ball. About 4 seconds left here in the first. To the corner to Crowley. Misses. Rebound kept alive. And that is where we will end things in the first quarter of play. Bedford, which at one point in time held a 10-7 lead, was outscored 9-2 to finish things up here in the first. And we go to the second with the Bulldogs trailing 16-12.
Yeah, tough first quarter for Bedford because Dover was hot from three-point land. I mean, we mentioned that in their playoff opener on Thursday, they only made 2 3-pointers for the entire game, and they've already made 4 in the first quarter. Girardi came off the bench and went 2 for 2 from deep. Vitko hit a 3, Coleman hit a 3, and their leading scorer, Katie, who had 26 on Thursday night, only has 2. You know, he's missed both of his 3-point attempts. So Bedford has to feel good about containing him. They start out with Mokus on him. Connor Crowley has also drawn that assignment on a few possessions, but they got to make sure they close out on all the shooters.
And I will correct myself here. Dover has committed 5 fouls to this point in the game. Bedford has committed but 2, so it's going to be a while before the green waiver and the bonus. Bedford, after Dover commits 2 more fouls, will be shooting 1-1.
And I would expect that to come into play here as we're just getting started with the second quarter. So hopefully Bedford will continue to pound it inside, whether it's Anderson or O'Neill, as O'Neill is out there now, to put the pressure on them to keep committing fouls.
So for the Bulldogs, Mokus, Crowley, Chartier, Lagulon, and O'Neill, and that was an odd one. Mokus looked to the corner to Chartier, who was just not expecting the ball, and it sailed right through his fingers. 16-12 Dover, 7:50 left here in the first half.
Yeah, tough miscommunication there.
Coleman with the ball, yo-yoing it up and down. Just outside the three-point line in the center of the court. Now gets it over to Federico on the far side, the big forward. Gets it back to Coleman just outside the three-point line, guarded by Chartier. Now he'll move it over to Carloni. Now Carloni to the aforementioned Devin Cady. The Bulldogs trail 16-12, 7:20 left here in the first half. Harry Lagoulon guarding Federico, who drives the lane, and will we see a travel? And indeed, that was what it was. The first time he did it, I thought we would have seen the call. So the second time, indeed, that was what the call was.
Looked a little bit like a slow Euro step to me. I think I would have let that one slide.
So Bedford with the ball, 16-12, they trail. Mokus with the ball in the front court, gets it to Nolan Anderson back in the game. Bedford going big with Anderson and O'Neal. Mokus in the far corner, thinks about a shot, then thinks better of it. 7 minutes left in the first half. Bulldogs trail by 4. Now to O'Neal, who shoots a 3, misses long, and the rebound there to Federico. And check that, Dover coming back the other way. Devin Cady behind the back, shoots a 3. He misses. Nice job by Anderson to seal off to Mokus. And Bedford on the fast break into the front court. Mokus to the corner to O'Neal, back to Anderson, who pump fakes, then drives the lane. A lot of contact down low. O'Neal picked it up, and it looked like the ball was knocked off of O'Neal, but they say it will be Bedford ball underneath. Bulldogs trail 16-12, 6.5 left in the first.
It's just fun to see Mokus in the open court, and it didn't translate into a basket there, but Bedford retains possession.
Aggressive, good decision maker. Now Chartier, couple spin moves, tried to find Mokus in the corner. Instead, the ball stolen by Girardi, and Dover will come right back the other way. Coleman with the ball, right-hander, dribbling to his right. Stolen there by Chartier, picked up by Crowley, who's quickly driving. Nice job by Cady in pursuing that play. Crowley made a nice move to get to the basket, but couldn't convert the layup, and the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Dover ball. Bedford hasn't scored in a while, trailing 16-12, 6:11 left in the first half.
Yeah, that's the third short shot that Bedford would expect to make that hasn't turned out that way yet tonight, but still early, plenty of time to get their confidence back.
Not a whole lot of offense in the early going. The Bulldogs and the Green Wave at Dover, and just like that, you say it and it happens. John Cantwell knocks in a 3 for the Green Wave from the far elbow. And just like that, Dover on top by 7, 19-12.
Yeah, good use of a timeout there by Coach Elmendorf. No reason to let this get up into double digits before talking things over. And right when the boys sat down, he gave the just let's settle down message, a gesture. And, you know, that's what he's going to get them to do, is refocus, try and give them a little confidence, and remind them that those bunnies are going to start falling.
Takes a little bit of time, of course, and the offense hasn't quite looked in sync like it will look, but what we've seen from this Bedford team in the early going, regardless of the game, they've been slow to get started. Sometimes they have enough time, they're able to win. Sometimes they just flat run out of time.
And that's why it's a perfect timeout here, because, you know, if you can just call one set and then go down and execute it, it gives you that confidence. Okay, we're back in this. We've executed the play. Stop the momentum. So let's see what Bedford draws up here.
So 19-12 in favor of the Dover Green Wave. Bedford will bring the ball up court, left to right, across the radio dial to Mokus on the near side. Dumps it off to Chartier, who drives to his right. Now thinks better of it, gets it back to Mokus up top, who drives the lane left-handed, spins off the glass, missed. Cantwell with the board, and Dover will come right back the other way. Bedford chasing 7, 5.5 left here in the first half.
Bedford still in the man-to-man. This would be a great time to create a turnover to change the momentum.
Girardi back to Carloni on the near side, guarded there by Mokus, who gets it right back to Girardi. Now to Cantwell. The advantage of bringing Cantwell out with the ball like that is you really clear up the middle. Nolan Anderson comes out of there.
Yeah, he's foul line extended now because he's got to respect Cantwell from long distance.
So now driving the lane is Coleman. His shot short. Bedford just did not pursue that rebound. Got lucky there. Connor Crowley with an outlet pass to Chartier. dribbling outside the three-point line on the far side, drives the lane, is shoved in the back, misses the shot, will go to the line, and he will shoot a pair from the stripe. Bedford down 19-12, 4:47 left here in the second quarter. Bulldogs have not scored since about 2 minutes were left in the first.
But once again,
I feel like we've seen this before.
We've seen this before, but once again, when you have that sort of drought, getting to the line is a great antidote.
Chartier misses his first free throw. He's got a pair, but was not able to convert the first one right there, and now is shooting his second. Is Max Chartier. And the second one from Max misses long. Cantwell gets the rebound. And it'll be Dover ball, 19-12, 4:40 left here in the first half. Coleman dribbling on the far side, now driving the lane. See what he's got, high off the glass, misses. Katie with the rebound for Dover, and then gets his own rebound after he misses the shot. And attempts to put one back, is fouled going up, but they say the foul was on the floor. Bedford's fourth of the half. It'll be Dover ball underneath. Bulldogs trail 19-12. Inbounds pass to Cantwell, who tried to get it quickly back to Girardi. And a little underhanded shovel. Didn't look like it touched anybody. And indeed, they're saying it was off of Bedford, so Dover gets another chance at that. Now Girardi to inbound. Desperately looking for somebody. Looks to Cantwell far outside. Now Bedford's back in their zone. Over to the near side to Girardi. Misses just a shade long. Coleman going after the rebound, and a little bit of body there. And Bedford not really boxing out all that much in the early going.
Yeah, you'd certainly prefer the box out, but if you're Coach Elmendorf, you're glad that at least it wasn't a shooting foul there in the paint.
Now to Coleman on the far side, to Katie along the baseline. Katie dribbles left, looks up top to Girardi, swings it over to the near side to Cantwell. Cantwell's three misses. Nice rebound there by Liam O'Connell. Bedford right back the other way, trails 19-12. 4 minutes left in the first half. Down low to Nolan Anderson. Nice little feathery hook shot, misses long, and a rebound to Dover. Coleman into the front court for the Green Wave. Now Cantwell with it. About 25 feet from the hoop. Ball dumped down low to Carloni. To Girardi up top, who spins, and now back to Carloni up top, drives the lane. Goes up with the left. Nice block there by Chartier. Picked up by Dover, and the shot misses out of the hand of Katie, and right back the other way is Bedford off the rebound. Mokus running that fast break. The ball stolen from him. Katie, Cantwell. Katie with a shot and misses. Ball kept alive there by Mokus, and now picked up there by Katie, who goes to drive the lane. The ball knocked away, and they say that Katie was fouled on the shot. He'll go to the line. He'll shoot a pair.
I thought Crowley got a lot of ball in that play. Sort of a strange angle. I think that may have contributed to the whistle.
Katie was a little bit out of control on that one as well. Shot it with the left hand and really struggled a bit to get it out, but the referee bought whatever he was selling. Katie makes his first free throw.
To your point, though, Bedford does need to shore up the defensive rebounding. I mean, one or two here or there is going to happen. But there's just been too many here in this second quarter.
A lot of long possessions for Dover. Bedford trails 21-12. Bulldogs have not scored in this quarter. 3:14 left here in the first half. Crowley gets it over to Chartier on the far side. Looks to O'Connell up top. O'Connell drives, kicks it back out to Mokus, who attempts to get a little bit of isolation. Now down low to Anderson, who spins up and under, misses, and the rebound collected by Carloni. And now right back the other way is Ryan Coleman, the guard for Dover, with Bedford trailing by 9. Cantwell off the dribble drive, tries to beat Anderson, now looks to the baseline to the streaking Girardi for a 2-point bucket for Girardi, and an 11-point lead for Dover, 23-12. 2.5 left in the first half. Liam O'Connell's three misses. Nice job on the follow by Max Chartier, puts it off the glass, and Bedford gets their first bucket here in the second quarter, trailing now 23-14.
We've seen that a lot from Max this season. one of his go-to plays, crashing the offensive glass, scoring an easy bucket that way.
Federico with the ball, dribbles to the left, gets it stolen there by Connor Crowley. And they say a jump ball as it was tied up, and the jump ball will go to Dover on their offensive end.
Both teams with 6 fouls now. Next foul will send the opponent to the free throw line.
Girardi to inbound underneath. Gets it up to Coleman from the far corner. His 3 misses. Mokus attempting to grab the rebound. They say that he was shoved in the back by Girardi on the rebound. Gives the universal signal for Humi. And to the line and shooting a 1-and-1 is Nick Mokus.
That'll prompt Katie to check back in for Girardi, which is a nice gift for Bedford. Girardi had quick 8 points there off the bench, the 2 great 3-pointers and that nice backdoor cut.
Bedford 5 of 8 from the free throw line early on. And Mokus' first one misses, now 5 of 9. Chartier with the rebound, misses with the shot. Dover gets the rebound, and Cantwell will bring the ball onto the front court for Dover, which is on top 23-14, 1:45 left in the first half.
Dover understandably in no hurry, taking their time to set up their offense.
Now back over to the near side to Cantwell, dump down low to Katie, trying to beat Connor Crowley from the post, and instead misses with the shot. Mokus with the rebound, dribbling quickly into the front court to the streaking Nolan Anderson. He finishes the layup. He'll go to the line and attempt to make it a 3-point play after the foul by Griffin Carloni.
Let's hope that changes everything. Get Anderson the confidence of scoring in transition, that nice aggressive take.
Now, of course, Anderson misses the free throw. He's 5 of 10 from the stripe. Nice job by Bedford to get that rebound. As Max Chartier picking it up. Now back to the far side. Connor Crowley, a 3-pointer is long. Cantwell picks it up, and he's streaking the court with Federico. Bounce pass down to Federico, who tried to knock it off one of the Bedford players as he was going out of bounds and was unable to do so. And right back the other way are the Bedford Bulldogs to inbound underneath, trailing 23-16. 1 minute left here in the first half of play. Now Mokus to the far side to Crowley, to O'Connell up top, back to Crowley in the far corner. Dribbles with the right, looking for somebody, gets it back to Mokus up top. Now to Anderson, who's standing on the 3-point line, thinks better of it. Liam O'Connell for a 3, and missed. Picked up there by Carloni, and back the other way is Dover, leading 23-16. Just over half a minute left in the first half. We'll see if they play for the final possession of the first half. At least that's what it looks like for now.
Sure wouldn't surprise me. Looks like the entire coaching staff just gave that signal.
Cantwell, a crossover dribble, drives the lane, and they say that he was fouled there by Nolan Anderson as he drove in what you would ordinarily think might be kind of a throwaway possession. Instead, Cantwell will go to the line, he'll shoot 2, and Nolan Anderson picks up his second foul.
Yeah, I think everyone in the gym thought Dover was going to hold for the last shot, but Cantwell saw an opening, and he drove hard and picked up a big foul on Anderson, his second.
Cantwell to the line. He's made a pair of free throws earlier in the game and makes another one right there. He is 3 of 3 from the stripe. Dover is now 5 of 6. Bedford 5 of 10 from the line in the early going. Now Cantwell's second one, misses long. Harry Lagoulon had a shot at the rebound, kept it alive, and wound up coming out of there with it. Gets it to Crowley, now to Mokus on the near side. Couple crossover dribbles. 14 seconds left here in the first. Bedford trails by 8. Now Liam O'Connell will drive the lane. The shot missed. Chartier keeps it alive, draws some contact, throws one up, misses off the back iron. And Max Chartier will go to the line and shoot a pair on the shooting foul. Max 0 for 2 from the line here in the first half. He's got 4 points.
The foul was called on Federico, his first.
Now Chartier will miss his first one. Max now 0 for 3 from the line. Bulldogs 5 of 11, 45%. in the early going. Now Chartier's second one is also in and out. Rebound to Dover right near the end of the first half. Little swinging gate. Cantwell for three just off the front of the rim. And that will end things in the first half. You talk about a swing. Bedford unable to make either free throw. Dover had a chance to go up by 11 and missed that three-pointer. Bedford lucky on that one. The Bulldogs trail 24-16 after the first half. So we're about to tip things off in the second half. Wrong sports metaphor. Bulldogs trail 24-16 against the Dover Green Wave.
Bedford student section rising again in unison. Ready for the new day that is the second half.
I missed the memo there. They're not in red. They're all wearing black tonight. Bedford now going right to left across the radio dial, trailing by 8. Nolan Anderson with the ball just inside the three-point line. Over to Chartier on the far side. Little crossover dribble. Now back to Anderson, who drives the lane. And will they say that he made the contact on Cantwell? And indeed, that is not the case. The foul called on John Cantwell. And for Cantwell, that is his second foul.
Perfect start to the second half. Nolan remains aggressive. Draws a foul on Dover's key interior defender. Even
So
makes the first.
Makes the first free throw. It is Nolan Anderson. So the Bulldogs now 5 of 13 from the stripe, and the second one from Anderson also good. Now Bedford trails 24-18. 7:40 remaining in the third. Coleman over to Cantwell on the far side. Bedford still on the man-to-man, in case you were wondering. Cantwell hanging on to the ball up top, tries to get it down low, stolen there by Chartier, who will try to go coast to coast, and Cantwell knocks the ball out of bounds. Looked like it might have hit Chartier's hand on the way back out.
Outstanding recovery by Cantwell.
Boy, oh boy.
That looked like a guaranteed layup by Chartier, who had a nice elevation on the layup attempt, but great hands by Cantwell.
Mokus inbounds to O'Connell, who is contacted in the back. He's saying that's why he went down, and certainly that's what it looked like from up here, but
I think that's one of those 2nd and 10 calls.
yes. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Dover ball. Green Wave lead 24-18. 7:15 left here in the third quarter. Now Coleman will drive the lane around Connor Crowley. He had a bunny there and just missed it. And the rebound to Nolan Anderson for Bedford. The Bulldogs back the other way. Mokus to Chartier down in the corner for three. It misses. Anderson doing a nice job attempting to corral that rebound. And they say that it was knocked out of his hands by a Green Wave player, and the Bulldogs will get it back underneath their basket, trailing by 6. 6:59 left in the third.
Big opportunity for Bedford. Should have been down by 8 there. Now they can cut it to 4 or 3.
Mokus to inbound, gets it to Anderson. Nice move off the glass, up and under. Anderson has 4 here in the third, and the Bulldogs now trail by 4, 24-20.
You can feel the momentum shift. Mokus out there clapping.
Cantwell with the ball for Dover. Now gets it over to Dover, picked up there by Carloni. And Carloni's shot misses. Anderson picks up the rebound. Back the other way is Bedford. Mokus to O'Connell. Drives the baseline. Missed. Cantwell picks up the rebound. Now quickly Devin Cady back the other way for Dover. Loses control of the ball. Connor Crowley picks it up for Bedford. Bedford on the fast break. Chartier with a shot. Missed. Now right back the other way. Cady with a three-point thought. Now elevates from the baseline. Misses a 15-footer. The rebound there picked up by Dover. Now the three from Cady is good. And a quick timeout called right there by Bedford. Elmendorf not liking what he saw out of that defensive effort.
Yeah, just too many chances for Dover, too many second chances. Bedford so fortunate that Dover was missing those interior shots. They haven't been able to buy a bucket in the third quarter, but because they couldn't squeeze that defensive rebound, Cady hits the open three.
So 27-20 Dover after that Devin Cady three. 6 minutes left here in the third.
Before that shot, I was starting to get the sense of Wow, Dover might be feeling the pressure here a little bit. On the road, ahead against the number 3 seed, with a chance to move on to the semis. And they've left the door open here for Bedford to get right back in this game.
It appeared to be that way. Dover was able to really stretch out that possession, a couple missed shots, getting all the rebounds. And consequently, they kept it alive just long enough for Katie to hit that big 3. Bedford chasing 7. Crowley comes up court for the Bulldogs. Gets it to Liam O'Connell, who thinks about a 3 from the corner, instead drives baseline, misses with the shot. And they say that it is Bedford ball. Looked like O'Connell just missed it and went straight away out of bounds. But indeed, the call there was that it went off of a Dover player. So Bedford ball trailing by 7, 5:49 left in the third. Chartier to inbound, gets it to Anderson about 25 feet from the basket, gets it back to Chartier. Now Chartier drives the lane, off the glass, missed. Chartier follows his own shot, misses again. Cantwell the rebound for Dover, back the other way. 5.5 left in the third, Bulldogs trail by 7. Tall forward Cantwell, quick with that ball. Little fadeaway jumper, 15-footer missed. Now Mokus right back the other way for the Bulldogs in the open court. Goes up with the left hand, it's missed. And on the rebound, a foul committed by Bedford. Max Chartier called on that one, as Ty Vitko had the rebound and was fighting for that rebound. Not quite certain where the foul was, however.
Yeah, I thought Vitko created the contact on Chartier, but Vitko sure had a great block on Mokus on that play.
Vitko with the ball, shoots a 3, misses. The rebound there by Nick Mokus. And Bedford back the other way. Connor Crowley brings it into the front court for the Bulldogs. Now Mokus up top, dumps it down low to Anderson. And they say that Anderson was hit hard there by Katie. A foul called on Devin Katie. And that is his first.
2 team fouls in the early going for Dover, 1 on Bedford.
27-20 Dover, 4:55 left here in the third. Over to Connor Crowley on the near side, shoots a 3, gets backboard and nothing else. Dover gets the rebound, does Katie. And quickly bringing the ball in the front court is Katie. Stops, pops, misses, and Bedford picks up the rebound. Crowley to Chartier on the near side. Chartier over to the far side to Mokus. Nice job breaking up that pass by Vitko. Pass intended for Nick Mokus. And it'll be Bedford ball, 2nd and 10.
The critical juncture here. Bedford's gotten so many extra possessions and opportunities cut this lead in the third quarter. They got to do it right now and prevent Dover from getting a double-digit lead.
Over to the far corner to Crowley. He misses short. Anderson picks up the rebound high off the glass for Anderson. His shot is good, and the Bulldogs cut Dover's lead to 5, 27-22. Nolan Anderson has all 6 Bedford points here in the third quarter. Bulldogs trail 27-22, 4:14 left in the third. Vitko over to Cantwell on the far side, thought about a 3, now to Coleman. And picking his pocket is Connor Crowley, and Crowley dives after the loose ball. And they say a foul committed there by Coleman on the loose ball. It'll be Bedford ball. And that, the 4th foul, or check that, the 3rd foul here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I didn't see contact from Coleman that would have warranted a foul in my opinion, but
I don't disagree.
But Crowley with a great athletic steal, he created that opportunity, and good things happen with that sort of energy.
Crowley to O'Connell on the far side, dribbles left behind the back, now into the lane, the ball knocked away from him. Popcorns around a little bit before going off of O'Connell's knee and out of bounds. Dover ball underneath their own basket. 27-22. Green wave on top of the Bulldogs. 3:55 left in the third.
O'Neal checking in for Bedford. Let's see if the twin tower approach can be more productive here in the third quarter. As Anderson's still on the floor, and he now has 12 for the game.
Cantwell dribbles to his left for the green wave, now gets it to Vitko, thinks about a 3 from the far elbow, then thinks better of it. Now drives the lane, and a nice little underhanded layup from Cantwell. And Cantwell puts Dover ahead again, 29-22, 3.5 left here in the third. Anderson to Chartier, shoots about an 18-footer, top of the key, and Max hits the only non-Anderson bucket here in the third quarter for Bedford. Bulldogs trail 29-24, 3:10 left in the third. The coaching staff apoplectic, thinking there was a moving screen, and instead a nice little fading jumper there made by Devin Cady.
Yeah, that was
Puts
actually
over on top, 31-24. Go ahead.
Vitko with the left on that one.
Now it'll be Nolan Anderson driving a reverse layup for Anderson. His third basket here in the third. Bedford trails 31-26, and the offense is now on for both teams.
And the crowd is up with it, chanting for defense.
Vitko to Coleman to Cantwell on the near side. Bedford still in that man-to-man. Now to Coleman, shoots a three, misses, but a foul committed away from the ball, and Devin Cady appears to be the one whistled for it. Or check that, Mokas was whistled for it. Thought I saw the official point the other way.
I thought so too. Didn't see the contact from Mokas.
So Dover to inbound from underneath Bedford's basket, leading Bedford 31-26, 2:24 left in the third, and a big three-pointer from the corner from Vitko. And this, again, the biggest lead of the game, 34-26 for Dover, 2:13 left in the third. Bedford's got to get back on track on their offense. Justin O'Neill back to Anderson, who has the ball about 25 feet, drives the lane. The layup missed because he was fouled, and Nolan Anderson will go to the line and shoot a pair.
This is the best quarter I've seen Anderson play. He's got 8 points already, being really aggressive. He's just got that look in his eye of, I'm going to take this game over. I'm going to get us back in this game all by myself if that's what it takes.
It's where the opportunity is, and Anderson misses the free throw. He is now 2 of 4 from the line in the game. Bedford trails 34-26.
Girardi sits down with his third foul.
And the second one is good. Bulldogs trail by 7, 34-27, just under 2 minutes left in the third. Cantwell with the ball on the near side, guarded there by Anderson. Down low to Coleman, who drives the baseline. Great job there by O'Neill pursuing the play on the layup. Gets the block, Bedford back the other way. And on the fast break, the ball kicked by Dover. It'll be Bedford ball underneath. Trailing by 7, 1:44 left in the third.
You don't normally say it, but that was a good kick, because Chartier was about to score a wide open layup.
Crowley to Mokas. Mokas the ball on the near side. Gets it over to Chartier on the far side. Shoots from the elbow. Off the back iron. Rebound Cantwell for Dover, and back the other way or the green wave. Cantwell with the ball up top. Looking around, he's got a lot of motion. Now looks to Cady on the near side, just outside the three-point line. Cady, a ball fake, drives the lane, high off the glass. His shot misses. Great hustle play there by Vitko to keep it alive, and stolen by Connor Crowley, but a whistle called. They say they got Vitko in the backcourt. Had his hands in the cookie jar, and that, the 5th foul of this third quarter for Dover.
Yeah, nice to pick up the 5th team foul there, but Bedford would have preferred the fast break. They had numbers there.
So Vitko, I thought it was Vitko had the foul. It was not. It says Coleman now has 3. Mokas, a stutter step, now gets it back over to Crowley, to Anderson, about 17 feet from the basket. Through the legs, drives the lane, and they say player control foul on Nolan Anderson, lowering the shoulder, and it will be Dover ball. Bedford trails 34-27.
There may have been a little contact there, but I thought that was a little bit of a flop.
So the Bulldogs chasing 7, 45 seconds left here in the third. Cantwell to bring the ball up. Last time this happened, we said they're going to go for the last shot.
They did.
They did not. We'll see what happens now.
Cantwell has it again.
Anderson with 3 fouls as well. So that's another thing to consider for the Bulldogs. Half a minute left here in the third. Cantwell taking his time, guarded by Anderson about a mile from the basket. Now Anderson, a nice steal on Cantwell. He'll drive the lane. Well, Nolan Anderson missed the layup. The rebound, Mokas. And the Green Wave pick up the rebound. And now Bedford in the full court press. Broken by Dover, and Dover into the front court. To the corner is Cantwell. He's trapped down low, stolen by Crowley. 2 seconds, 1 second, he's gonna shoot a three-pointer, no good. And that's where we end things here in the third. The Bulldogs chasing 7, 34-27 after 3.
Well, a lot happened in those 30 seconds when we thought Dover might hold for the last shot.
Boy, did it ever.
Instead, Anderson goes out to half court and picks the pocket of Cantwell, drives in, and I could have sworn he got hit in the legs on that layup attempt. But
I would say he would say the same thing.
Right. Would you say the same?
That's what it looked like to me, but it's hard telling.
We don't have the black and white shirt on. Interestingly, one of the Dover fans has a referee outfit on.
It's not Halloween.
I don't know if he has a whistle, but I wish he or one of the refs had blown a whistle on that one, but they didn't. The other thing we saw in those last 30 seconds is Crowley making a great trap and steal in the corner, and then he had the wherewithal to know what the clock was and get that three-point attempt off. Didn't convert it, but I'd like to see a little bit more of that trapping defense from Bedford.
It was nice to see it right on that late play. After Anderson had the ball knocked away, Bedford immediately went into a press, trying to get the ball back, or at the very least, make it so that Dover wasn't going to get a fast break basket the other way. Either way, it was successful. So a new face into the game for Dover. Jake Lipinski bringing the ball up for the Green Wave. And now he's in a little bit of trouble. Harassed there by Connor Crowley. Gets it over to Cantwell. Cantwell dribbles to the middle, guarded there by Nolan Anderson. Screen set high by Federico. And now you have O'Neal guarding Cantwell, and Federico is guarded by Anderson outside the three-point line. Now to Vitko. Vitko misses a little jumper from about 15 on the far elbow. The rebound there to Crowley, up into the front court to Chartier. Chartier driving the lane, gets the hoop and the harm. Big bucket for Max Chartier right there, and he'll have a chance to convert a three-point play. The Bulldogs now trail by 5, 7:23 left here in the game.
That was an enormous turn of events. Great defensive rebound by Crowley. He went up and got it. Quick outlet pass. Chartier, nice adjustment in the air to make that basket, and then it's Vitko's third. He's been a force on both ends for Dover, and now he checks out for a breather.
And Chartier makes the three-point play, and the Bulldogs trail by 4, 34-30, 7:20 left in the game. Cantwell over to Federico on the far side, back to Cantwell up top. Ball on his hip, a couple dribbles, now one behind the back. Now to Coleman, to Katie up top. Crossover now through the legs. Now pulls it back out, does Katie. Thought about driving the lane, did Ryan Coleman. Instead, he pulls it back out, and Dover determined to milk every second out of every possession for the rest of this game.
They do appear to have that mentality. It's not going to work, though.
And Dover winds up calling a timeout. Nice job there to get that timeout on Bedford's part. Federico was tied up well outside the three-point line, and it was on the verge of being a 5-second call.
It was, and that's one of the weapons that Bedford has if Dover is going to try and milk the clock, is just that, intense defensive pressure on the ball. But that's a prime example of what happens if you try and start milking the clock with 7 minutes left. You get passive, and all of a sudden they have to call timeout and regroup.
So consequently, Dover calls a timeout. They have 3 left. The Bulldogs have 4. 34-30 in favor of Dover. 6:42 left here in the game. It'll be Cantwell to inbound from the near side. Looking for somebody, anybody. Finds Coleman back on the near side. Now to Cantwell. They're guarded by O'Neal. Now to Federico, who's guarded by Anderson. Spins. The ball almost taken away by Chartier. Now Coleman out of the corner will pull the ball back out. And Dover really determined to lengthen these possessions. And boy, did Coleman just get bailed out. He drove the lane, an out-of-control shot. And they say that there was a shove on the body. And the call there on Max Chartier. That is Max's third. And the official also cautioning Coach Elmendorf, hey, stay in your box. Bulldogs.
Well, everybody's excited and on edge, and it's such a critical point in the ball game.
So Coleman winds up making his first free throw. Dover on top, 35-30. And the second one from Coleman also good. 36-30 Green Wave. 6.5 left in the game. Back the other way, Mokas dumps it off to Chartier, dribbles outside the three-point line. Now over to Crowley. Crowley gets it down low to Anderson. Now back down low to Anderson again, who had great position, missed the bunny, and the ball knocked away out of the hands of Dover. It'll be Bedford ball underneath. You'd really rather have the points than the ball there.
You sure would.
Anderson had a great move, up and under, found himself alone, and I think he thought there was going to be contact. Now the ball again dumped down low to Anderson, who misses a shot, but this time a foul called on Dover. And it'll be the Green Waves' 7th foul here in the half. So from here on out, Bedford shooting a 1-and-1. And the foul there called on Nick Girardi. That is his 4th as well.
Yeah, he looked a little puzzled when his number was called.
Anderson makes his first free throw. Bedford trails 36-31. He made the first one, right?
I was trying to see how many fouls Cantwell has.
And Anderson made the second one as well. I have Cantwell with 2 at this point.
Okay.
So the Bulldogs trail 36-32, 5:55 left in the game. Federico with the ball on the near side for Dover. Now hanging onto the ball, guarded there closely by Anderson. And now Mokas will guard Devin Cady, who drives the lane, goes around Anderson with the left hand. And somebody put a cover over that hoop.
Just in time.
Cady's ball popped right out. And now Mokas will dribble into the front court, gets it over to Chartier on the far side, to O'Neal up top, to Mokas on the far side for 3, just a little bit long. Rebound picked up there by Federico for Dover. And back the other way we go. The Bulldogs chasing 4, 36-32. Little two-pointer from Devin Cady. That one was silky smooth. And now Dover on top, 38-32. 5:13 remain.
Cady didn't waste any time on that shot. Clearly the Dover coaching staff told the guys they need to stay aggressive.
O'Neal to Mokas. Mokas outside the three-point line up top. Dribbling with the left. Now gets it back to O'Neal up top. Back to Chartier on the far side. Chartier dribbles to the right. Attempts to drive base. They say there was a foul committed on the floor, but Bedford will be shooting a 1-and-1. The foul called there on Devin Cady. That is his second.
So
now,
let's see if Max can get a little rhythm here at the line.
I was going to say, this is a critical one. You make the first, you get the second. You miss the first.
There is a reward here at stake.
All bets are off. Bulldogs trail by 6, 4:52 left in the game, and Max hits the front, the back, and everything but the bottom of the net. I think he'd like to have that one back. Now Coleman with an entry pass to Federico, up his arm, and Bedford right back the other way. Chartier behind the back to the corner to Mokas, to Crowley, back down low to Chartier, off the glass, and good. Little layup for Max Chartier. The Bulldogs chasing 4, 38-34, 4:20 left in the game.
Terrific ball movement there. Mokas to Crowley, to Chartier, zipping it.
Cady bringing the ball in, attempting to drive the lane. And Mokas looked like he was just going along for the ride, basically. And the reason that he was, he'll contend, was the front elbow of Cady, but the foul called on Mokas. So
his second, team 5th.
So the inbound to Cantwell, then Cady follows with the left hand. That is his second bucket here in the 4th quarter, and Dover on top 40-34. O'Neal with it on the far side. To Chartier up top, now to Mokas for 3. Nick's 3 is just a shade short. The rebound to Ryan Coleman. And we're halfway through the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs chasing 6, 40-34. Now Devin Cady driving the lane in a sea of Bulldogs. And they whistle Nick Mokas for a foul on the block. Mokus with 3, Anderson with 3, Chartier with 3.
Just a veteran move by Katie there to draw that foul. A lot of back and forth along that drive.
Now Dover to inbound. Coleman has it about 25 feet from the basket to Vitko. Now back to Katie in the corner. His shot misses. O'Neal, a nice job sealing off, gets the rebound. Bedford back the other way. Mokus in open space. Drives base, kicks it to O'Neal in the corner for 3. Misses. Anderson fighting for that rebound. And they're saying it was off of somebody's hands. And Dover will get the ball. It was off of Anderson.
Bedford going with a full court press now, man-to-man.
A little bit of extracurriculars, Mokus and Katie. Katie might have tried to sell that one a little bit more. Bulldogs chasing 6, 40-34, 3:20 left in the game. And on the dribble drive was Cantwell, and they said that Anderson made contact with him. He picks up a foul. That is Nolan Anderson's 4th. Bedford's got some foul trouble with the wrong guys.
Yeah, Anderson felt the need there due to the clock to commit a foul and send Dover to the line. I think Coach Elmendorf would have preferred that somebody with fewer fouls had made that.
Now Cantwell makes his first free throw, his first point since the second quarter. The Bulldogs trailing 41-34, 3:22 left in the game. Now the second one from Cantwell rattles in and out. Anderson trying to pick up the rebound. Instead, Mokus picks it up. And the fast break for Bedford. Ultimately, the shot missed there by O'Neal. The ball bounced around a little bit and wound up in the hands of Ty Vitko, who hadn't reestablished possession in bounds. So it'll be Bedford ball underneath, trailing by 7. Inbounds pass from Mokus off the shoe tops of O'Neal. Kept alive there. Now back to Mokus on the near side outside the 3-point line. Tries to get it down low to Anderson. Kept alive there. Gets it to O'Neal. Mokus for 3. Shot misses. Winds up hitting one of the support ropes up top. And Mokus 0 for 3 here in the 4th. Great to see him taking the shot.
Yeah, 3 great looks, just barely off the mark, all 3 of them.
Bulldogs trail 41-34, 2:55 left here in the game. A little bit of foul trouble for Bedford. Anderson with 4, Chartier, Mokus 3 apiece. And now Anderson guarding Cantwell far from the basket. Cantwell drives the lane, kicks it over to Coleman for 3. The shot misses, and it will go harmlessly out of bounds. Bedford ball, 2:37 remain in the game. And Devin Cady angling for a foul, saying that he was low-bridged, but I don't know if that was the case.
Yeah, no, Mokus just nice aggressive box out there, which you love to see because every possession is critical now. Down 7, 2:37 left in the 4th. This is go time for the Bulldogs.
Both teams are in the bonus. Dover with 8 fouls, Bedford with 7. But Bedford has the ball. They just need to have a good possession and really get something done.
That's right. All they need is to get something done. We don't need threes yet. If you have an open 3, take it. Mokus is due. But the bread and butter so far tonight has been Anderson in the post. He's done a great job of positioning himself to create those good opportunities. So with over 2.5 to go, Bedford can still play that game where they take advantage of Anderson's footwork in the paint.
It has to be possession by possession, though. The Bulldogs, like we talked about the other day, you can't try to hit a 3-run homer with nobody on base, and you got to score 2 or 3 in a possession. You're not trying to hit a home run. This is not rock and jock basketball. There's no 8-point spot on the court.
2 or 3 at a time, that's the equation.
So Bedford will inbound. Mokus will get it to Crowley. Anderson has 17 of the Bulldogs' 34 to this point. They trail 41-34.
Dover with a 2-3 zone here.
Pass down low to Chartier. Now to Mokus. Back to Crowley up top. To Mokus on the near side outside the 3-point line. Back to Crowley. And Bedford trying to figure out how to combat this zone. I don't think they were expecting it.
And it's paying off just to the time that's run off the clock.
Crowley's 3 misses. Rebound there, Cantwell. Dover going back the other way. And quickly Devin Cady into the front court for Dover. Shoots a 15-footer, missed. The rebound knocked away. O'Neal picks it up in the front court and he is fouled, and he'll go to the line to try to complete the three-point play. Bedford trails by 5, 1:59 left, and you, as a cerebral basketball player, you got to let the guy have that layup. You don't go underneath him.
Absolutely, and Katie shot too quickly on the other end. You know, he tried to go for the bucket and the 9-point lead. Instead, O'Neal makes a fabulous play in the open court, uses his length to get to the rim, and now he's got a chance to cut it to 4.
And indeed, Justin O'Neal cuts it to 4. And this is one of those games and one of those seasons where if you look back at the end of the season and it ends how you wanted it to, you look back and you say, okay, that was a big momentum play.
That was the play of the game.
That was the play of the game so far. If Bedford is able to get anything going on defense, pick up a steal, convert, talking about a different ball game now.
Yeah, and the great thing is that Bedford has 17 fouls. So the next 2 times they foul, Dover only has a 1-and-1. So one miscue on the front end of a 1-and-1, Bedford can come down and cut it to a 1-possession game. We still have 2 minutes to go, just under 2 minutes, 1:59 officially on the clock. So plenty of time to go for a steal early. If you don't get a steal in the first trap or 2, you play the foul game.
Now by my count, Dover 8 of 9 from the free throw line.
And as we talked about, they closed out Londonderry in the opener with great free throw shooting down the stretch.
Yep. Bedford is ready for the press. And you got the big man O'Neal will guard the inbounder, who is Cantwell. They're just trying to keep the ball out of anybody's hands who's going to do any trouble. Bulldogs had a chance at a steal there. Mokus went after it, and they say that Mokus committed the foul. Didn't quite see that.
There was a little bit of contact, but he was kind of falling to the floor. The ball had already been deflected away. That was one of those coin flip calls. Could have gone either way.
At that point, a no call might have seemed like the best course of action. Bulldogs trailing by 4, 41-37, 1:59 left in the game. Devin Cady to the line, and he will shoot a 1-and-1 in front of the Bedford student section. And just like he did the other night, Cady makes the front end. Dover now 9 of 10 from the stripe. Bedford trails by 5.
Cady, not the guy that Bedford wants at the line, but that was not by design.
Cady's second one is missed. And fighting for that rebound was Griffin Carloni, who was fighting with Anderson. Anderson did not like that. But regardless, Bedford ball, 1:55 left here in the game, trailing by 5. Mokus with it on the far side to O'Neal. Swung over to Crowley on the near side. They look down low to Anderson. He had all kinds of opportunity. If he caught it clean, he fumbled it. Passes to O'Neal on the far side. Now O'Neal on the far side gets it again. Now to Chartier from the elbow. Passes to Anderson. The layup from Anderson is good. And the Bulldogs chasing 3. 1:34 left in the game. Cantwell dribbling into the front court. Guarded there by Justin O'Neal. And a nice pass by Cantwell to Cady, who misses the layup. Bedford gets the rebound, trailing by 3, 1:20 left in the game. Pass to Mokus is tipped and ultimately wound up going off of the hands of Chartier and out of bounds. And it will be green wave ball. Bedford trails 42-39, 1:16 left in the game.
Bedford sticking with their full court man-to-man press.
Inbounded there to Vitko. Attempted a steal by Chartier. Ball stolen there. Gets it to Chartier down low, who is fouled. Max will go to the line, and he is shooting 2 with the Bulldogs trailing by 3. 1:04 left in the game.
Wow, another huge play on defense. Mokus may have gotten away with one there. Escaped without getting the 5th called on him. And what a great heads-up play to then get the ball to Chartier, who drew the foul.
So Chartier to the line, he will shoot 2. One of the officials in motion 1-and-1, and him being a heady player, I gotta clarify.
Made sure he's got 2.
Yep. Why is somebody blowing a whistle while he's shooting a free throw?
I thought I might have been imagining things, but I thought I heard a whistle too.
Yeah. That's bizarre. I don't know if it's the guy down there in the referee's outfit, but not typically the prescribed thing. Max misses the first, and he will shoot the second. And misses the second, does Max. And the rebound picked up there by Coleman, and he is quickly fouled. And the official says, none of this celebrating stuff during the game, son. You'll go to the line and you'll shoot a 1-and-1. The foul called there on Max Chartier, that is his fourth. So all three of the Bedford seniors on the court right now, or check that. 3 of the 4 Bedford seniors have 4 fouls.
That's right. Mokus, Chartier, and Anderson at their limit.
So now to the line, missing on his free throw is Coleman, and Bedford right back the other way. Mokus thought about a 3, instead dumps it down low to Anderson. Little hook shot is good. And quickly a timeout called there by Mark Elmendorf with the Bulldogs as close as they've been in about an hour.
That's right. 1-point game. They've climbed the mountaintop. Still 55 seconds to go, so Coach Elmendorf has some options here. He can decide whether he wants to stick with that full court press, which has been quite effective. Drop back into half court and trap. Obviously, they can't sit back here. They've got to force the action. But they can be a little bit more selective about who they foul. Make sure they don't foul Katie.
Well, and the other thing you have to consider on defense is Max has 4, Mokus has 4, Anderson's got 4. They're all still out there, so you really have 2 guys who have fouls to spare, Crowley and O'Neal. That's it.
That's it. Those are the only 2 guys who can foul. Looks like they are going to stay with the full court man-to-man press. And they just got to make sure they don't get beat deep here for a layup.
Each team with a pair of timeouts. Dover in the double bonus now. Bedford with their next one will shoot 2. So to inbound is Cantwell. Gets it to Coleman. Cantwell now dribbling around with his hands in the cookie jars. The right guy, Connor Crowley, called for the foul, and Cantwell will go to the line. He'll shoot 2. He's 4 of 4 from the line so far tonight. For the Bulldogs, it's a 1-possession game, even if he makes both.
That's right. Plenty of time, again, even if he makes both, to come down and just get a good shot.
So Cantwell's first misses. Justin O'Neal thought it was a 1-and-1. So Cantwell misses his first free throw of the game.
Referees are addressing the student section now. Look like a couple of lights were visible. So,
cell phones.
Athletic Director Corey Parker over there.
Corey will try to restore order while the Dover student section tells the Bedford student section, you can't do that.
Right.
So they are going to let Cantwell shoot it again. I do not know this official, however, to me, every time I see him, he reminds me of Bob Barker.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm with you on that.
So the Bulldogs trail 42-41. And Cantwell will go to the line and shoot 2 again.
They're going to give him that free throw again.
They'll give him that one as a redo. Bulldogs trail by 1, 52.3 left in the game. You really would hate to see the game decided on that.
Well, we talked about it the other night. Sometimes the ball never lies.
Correct. So Cantwell will shoot his second free throw with his team up 1, 42-41, 52 seconds left. And Cantwell misses that one as well. Anderson the rebound, 50 seconds left. Crowley with the ball into the front court for Bedford. To O'Neal from the corner for 3, misses long. Cantwell gets the rebound, stolen there by Crowley. Check that, stolen by Chartier. O'Neal misses the shot, Anderson makes it. Bedford has their first lead of the game. Now quickly into the front court is Coleman for Dover. Gets it over to Katie, now to Girardi, and order has been restored. The Bulldogs up 1, 43-42.
Time to dig in here. One more defensive stop.
Cantwell dribbling left, guarded by O'Neal. Outside the 3-point line. 10 seconds left. Cantwell drives the lane. A beautiful shot high off the glass. His basket is good. He'll go to the line to try to complete a three-point play. 11.4 left in the game, and the Bulldogs trail by 1.
You tip your cap to Cantwell there. Great runner, falling away, using the glass with contact. That was O'Neal with the contact, his second foul. But that only gives Dover a 1-point lead. So again, even if he makes this free throw, Bedford can tie the game with a bucket.
Great play by Cantwell. Not a terribly high percentage shot.
No, that was a real tough shot under the circumstances, because not only was O'Neal there with the contact, but Anderson was right there too. I mean, he shot that over the double team.
I feel like I'm going to pass out.
This is
playoff basketball. It's March.
This is ultra pressure right here.
This is, if you're playing this game, you know this is going to come.
This is what you live for.
Got to be ready for it, right? So if you're Bedford, how do you set it up? Who gets the ball? Of course, he makes this one. The Bulldogs trail by 2.
That's
right.
He
misses it. The clock starts immediately. You can call a timeout. It's your last one. You can call a timeout and reset. What would you do if you were coach?
I want to get the ball in the hands of Mokas. I want to see him drive, and he's such a great facilitator that if the defense collapses on him, dish it over to Anderson and let Anderson finish from there.
So there you go. You heard it here first.
The great thing for Bedford, though, is Mokas, Crowley, Chartier, they're so great as ball handlers, all three of them. So any of them can try and penetrate to create the opportunity.
Bedford trails by 1, 44-43, 11.4 left in the game. Cantwell to the line for Dover, and he misses the free throw, and the Bulldogs, with 10 seconds left, have a chance to win it. Chartier with the ball on the far side. High screen set there by Anderson. Ball stolen by Dover, and it'll be Dover ball. Chartier drove the lane. The ball was stolen from him, and Dover is fouled. They'll go to the line with a second and a half left in the game, trying to salt this one away.
Wow, I thought Chartier drew some contact there. He got swarmed. Kind of tough to see from our angle, but it looked like with those 3 defenders that there was some contact, because Chartier went to the floor.
Chartier went down, didn't even really get a shot off. Ordinarily, you would see a foul called there merely because of the contact. However, not the case. Now, Coach Elmendorf tries to get everybody back together. 1.8 remain in the game. Bulldogs trail 44-43. Dover will go to the line, shoot 2.
The question here is, does Dover miss to try and have the clock run out on the rebounding action? If I'm Dover, I try and make both to ensure a 3-point edge, so that the worst that can happen is Bedford ties with a 3. But Bedford does have 1 timeout, so they can rebound, call a timeout, and then set up a pass ahead for a more reasonable 3-point attempt at the buzzer.
So Devin Cady will go to the line. He will shoot 2.
Key here, of course, is grabbing that rebound if he does miss the second.
Bulldogs trail 44-43, fourth quarter, 1.8 second left. Cady makes the first. Bulldogs now trail by 2, 45-43. You know, from everything about Cady's body language, trying to make that one, instead missed. Girardi gets the rebound. Crowley wrestles it away from him. A jump ball is called. Who gets it on the jump?
Should be Bedford ball.
Indeed, the arrow pointing their way.
Now a 3-pointer at the buzzer wins it.
And Cuckoo into the game for Dover. It's the first we've seen of him. 1.1 seconds left. Bulldogs trail 25-22. Length of the court pass. Swinging gate to Chartier is missed. And that's going to do it for the Bulldogs. They had a chance. A great look. Length of the court pass from Mokas. And a nice pass over from Anderson to Chartier. And Chartier unfortunately couldn't make that three, and the game and the season end for the Bulldogs.
Well, that's all you can ask for under those circumstances. Great play called up by Coach Elmendorf. The Valparaiso play is what that was. And Chartier had a great look. And what I liked right there was Mokas went right over, put his hands around Max, and said, "It's all right, buddy."
It's a good teammate. Those guys have been together for a long time, no doubt through youth basketball all the way up through high school, and you always want it to go out different, but you also realize that sometimes there are things more important than a basketball game or the conclusion of a season. So